This is the signal. You can go.
This is the signal. Yes,
This is
thank
the
you.
signal.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Temptations here on the Wolfman's TTRPG D&D channel. I am Psychic. I am your DM. We are joined by our players, and are we ready for some D&D?
Yeah.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
Why else would you be here?
Yeah.
What kind of a
Fully
question was
expecting-
that?
Fully expecting someone to say no, because I knew it was going to happen.
Well,
Alrighty.
that's what Ace does every week.
So, kicking off from last episode, what happened 2 weeks ago, because I'm not used to that either, is we gave the thistle weed, which was the basically anti-alcoholic serum stuff, to the bartender, and I believe Ravenok, you got a couple.
Yep.
And then what had happened was we decided to follow the advice of our good friend and headed to or are going to be heading to the town of Ura.
And that's
Which
not
is
that
kind
we
of
don't
like
remember his
the-
name. That was like legitimately his name.
Yeah, well,
It was
We
like Hurt
were-
Blurred, right?
Yeah.
Something like
Her
hurdy burdy.
bloodbird.
something like that.
Well, that's what I wrote.
Insert Swedish chef sounds here.
Ding-a-ding-a-ding.
But yeah, so we decided to follow the advice and started heading out on our way to Ura, which is the kind of second biggest city known for its population, its trading, etc. But on the way, we stumbled across a few things. We stumbled across a kind of a red, rainy, kind of a hazy look as we moved through, which had a circular kind of perimeter around us, which stopped the rain from hitting anyone in the party. We also stumbled across Biruul, which we were told was half a town, half not a town, kind of like a halfway stop, in between the big city of Ura and the smaller city of Zapran. When we arrived, we come across the guard and a couple of commoners that all attacked, and I believe the technical term is that you all eviscerated them off the face of the planet.
They sadly perished.
Yeah.
Yes, may they rest
was
in
unfortunate.
pieces.
They didn't stand a chance.
Afterwards, y'all started to investigate the houses, and it is, I believe, Rose who headed up into the northern house, was having a look around, failed acrobatics, tripped and fell, and heard some sounds coming from under the floorboards, which is where we pick up our session. So, in hearing a couple of the sounds, and there's a little bit of a gurgling sound, but it's a little bit muffled at the moment. I'd like you to start us off with an investigation check, please.
Would that be me?
That would be you.
Oh, okay. I can do that. I can do
Starting
that right
off
now.
strong
I
with
can't do that very
investigation.
well, though.
We are not starting off strong with investigation.
Yeah.
You basically you heard the sounds and you're like, oh, that's really weird. I would like to try and see if I can find something, but you can't find any latch. You can't find any like pull up from the ground drawer. You can't find anything that would indicate that there is a basement, essentially. How would you or everybody else like to proceed? Would you like to tell people? Would you like to just kind of have a look yourself? What are
I
you
think
doing?
I did say I heard something because I think people were coming over. If not, I will. I'll step out on the front porch. We have something over here. We have sort of an issue. I could use a hand.
Right. That was the last thing that happened last time. That was while we were all
Yeah.
over here.
Okay, that's
Because
what I
we
thought.
were all in different buildings.
There we go.
And you had yelled for us. And so that's why we all ran over.
Hell
Okay.
yeah. 2 weeks and I only remembered most of it. Let's go.
But I'm going to be obnoxious. I've been playing my Detect Magic song this whole time. Do I detect any magic? It goes out to 6 squares.
As you walk into or like up towards the house, you can see that there is a faint red glow kind of coming up through the cracks in the floorboards.
Okay.
Aside from that, the house itself doesn't look or feel magical in any sense, but you do see the kind of like when you're shining a light through floorboards and you get like the little lines, the little cracks through, you can see like a faint red kind of glow similar to the shimmering rain kind of look as what was surrounding you guys as you walked up to the town.
I was gonna ask you if
So-
it was the same blood magic. light.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wanted to know that too.
Yeah, it is the same blood magic.
So, is it weird for you guys that I'm just like coming up and I'm like playing a song as we're just like
Probably
coming up in
not.
this building, like some weird
I'm
shit's
used to this
happening?
you doing this by now.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
Okay,
at this
cool.
point, we just assume that you just never stop playing.
I'm pretty sure I haven't taken my headphones out. We killed those guys pretty fast.
Okay, you're not even
terrible.
hearing the song. Okay, cool.
Lando's playing magic again? Never would have guessed. Alrighty, so everybody that is in
You
the...
can just assume I've always got Detect Magic up. That's my song right
Sure,
now.
that makes my job easier.
I'm
You guys
like,
are going to notice a lot more.
I'm making an earworm. Everybody's hearing it all the time.
Alright, everybody that is walking up to the building or coming near the building is now free to make an investigation. Lando, you can make that with advantage, please. Because you have noticed the magic coming up from the cellar. But is the cellar and basement the same thing? We don't use those terms in America, in Australia.
What is it
Pretty
now?
much.
A cellar and a basement, are they the same thing?
Yeah.
More or less.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cellars are
We
creepier, but I can't really explain to you why.
It is
Okay.
now a
Basement-
cellar. No.
Basement usually has concrete and it's finished. Cellar doesn't
Okay.
have to be.
Alright, now it's the cellar then, to make sure that I got it correctly. We don't have them, fun fact, in Australia. It is very rare to find cellars or basements. Okay, Lando and Valorous, y'all with the 19, Coral with a 9. Coral, you also are now just unable to find out what's going on. You don't see anything. With a 19 and a 20, Val and Lando, you do see that the kind of floor is a little bit skewed in one area. With a 19 Val, you're able to pretty much deduce that, oh, if there's a little bit of a skew here, then logic will tell you that there's probably something around here that would be able to either pull it up. Lando, you're able to see that the ground is skewed, but you're also able to see that the carpet itself isn't actually like on the ground. You can see that the carpet at the end where the start of the house is actually kind of like molded into the wood. And you feel like that's kind of maybe where you pull it up. So it's not exactly a latch opening a door per se, but more so that the carpet itself has actually been built into the wood, or at least kind of like sealed onto the wood, similar to a glue, but obviously a lot stronger.
Magic glue.
But that is probably your way in, you feel.
I didn't see anything. Did you find anything? I'm
Yes,
telling you, I heard something. I promise.
I believe that there may be something underneath these floorboards here. If we maybe can open these and see if we can get underneath.
Do you want me to check it out?
Just stick my sword in between some of the cracks of the floor, see if I can pry something up.
When you kind of stick your sword in between the cracks and you like start wiggling around, you can hear the cracks of the wood. You can pretty much tell that the wood is quite old, obviously, as well as everything else in the house. The house looks a little bit decrepit. But as you kind of like hear a little bit of the crack, when you pull your sword out after a little while, you can hear just kind of little.
You heard that, right?
Oh, that's creepy. I kneel down and like peek through where I put the sword.
You can make me investigation if you want.
Sure.
I mean, you might as well.
Nope.
You can't see shit.
I see nothing.
You can't see.
There's nothing down there. I don't know what that was.
Shit.
Look, I have an idea. And she kind of looks around at everybody. But you have to promise not to freak out.
Whenever someone says that, there's usually reason to freak out.
Well, no.
I would like to hold an action to freak out in exactly 6 seconds.
It's not. I think that I can trust you all, but I know that sometimes people around here get a little skittish. But I think that I have a way to see what's down there and just kind of check it out. But again, don't freak out, okay? And as she's standing there, you'll see that she starts to glow a little bit, and then her body starts to contort and shift, and she starts to shrink. And I'm going to use my first wild shape to turn into just a little spider.
Ooh,
As
cute.
just wild shape down to a little spider, and then crawl over to where Coral was trying to get under, to where he had put his sword. And I just want to crawl down, and I want to see what's down there.
Lando messes up on his song for like the first time the entire time you guys have been with him. I'm like, and then I'm back together again. Okay.
Val loves spiders.
You'd think the musician would know a difference between
I did
a C
that
and
for
a D.
you. I was like, well, spiders are a good choice because they're small, but I was like, you know who loves spiders? Our DM and Val.
Respectfully. Okay. As you start skiddling and crawling your way down into the floorboards, we have a new thing that we can do. As you can now see inside the cellar. As you kind of crawl in, you will spawn usually down the bottom here. I did label it kind of the same as what the house's layout is. And as you kind of crawl down in here, you can see basically 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. Okay, so you can't see everything. But you can see as you kind of go down, you can see that it is a dirt kind of floorboards. You can see the ground is definitely disheveled. It's not kind of officially been made an under of a house. It is kind of just dug out and left there. You can see the 4 kind of pillars holding up the base of it, so you can tell that this is definitely just covered the entire underneath of the house. So as far as anybody else is concerned, these 4 pillars are what's holding up the entire building above it. Whilst looking down, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I probably should have done this. Hold on just a second, because I think I need to use the spider stat block.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
See if I can roll that from here.
I mean, the good news
Constitution
is
saving throw.
Yeah.
It's a -1. Okay. let's just do that. So I'll roll a d20 and we'll just take 1 off of it. See if I can do that. So that's a 7.
Ooh. 5E. Always got to add 5E. Okay, so with the 7, you still hold the senses, obviously, as Rose, even in your wild shape. That is one thing I do remember from playing a druid for 2 sessions. When you kind of crawl down in here, you are hit with probably the worst smell you have smelt in your entire life. And this goes for anything that you think you can remember from when you were little. When you kind of crawl down, you can see that the ground isn't actually disheveled. It's actually more of like layered with just multiple different forms of bones and kind of blood and a lot of mucus kind of looking along the ground. With this smell that hits you with a 7, you do start to feel quite dizzy, and you start to feel like you're kind of starting to lose your step a little bit. But even with that, you're still holding on to the ceiling, the wall, wherever you've spawned in. You're a spider. You don't,
Yeah, I would stay on the ceiling.
You don't fall off into the ground, which is probably a smart thing. But looking around with the smells that's kind of coming up, you can see a lot clearer that there are 2 cages that you can see from the bottom, and you can see that there are 2 corpses in the cages. Whereas on the left side, you can see a gentleman who's just been chained to the wall, and they are looking almost like a zombie. They still have a little bit of a, not tightness, but there's a little bit of flesh still along the face. But you can see that the way that they're laying there and the indent that their body has in the ground, they've been there for a very long time. As you're
watching
down,
that person for just a second, are they moving still? I mean, is this the source of the noise?
They're not moving. They are kind of just sitting there, but you can hear them very
So I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to skitter back up, and then I'll just skitter up and go over to Lando, just kind of skittering over to his foot and try to tap his foot just a little bit, trying to get his attention.
Don't squish him. Don't squish him. Don't squish him.
Lando looks down at you. He's continuing to play his Detect Magic song, but he does see you.
With your Detect Magic, you can see that the spider is bright red.
Right. So that's kind of like the only reason why I'm noticing a spider tapping on my foot.
Yeah.
So,
otherwise I probably wouldn't notice a spider tapping on my foot at all.
I didn't expect you to.
I noticed that because of the magic. So, yeah. What's up?
So I'll turn around. I'll take. I'll make a little bit of thread. And I'll just attach it to the front of his boot, and then I'll walk back, just pulling that very thin spider web, and then go back under, hoping he gets the message. Because I don't want to drop
You
it
get
yet.
the message. How is Lando thinking?
I'm trying to figure out who would get that message.
You don't have to, but that's what I'm doing.
Make me
I'm thinking
a
Lando
perception
would
check
at least go over and have a look. So what does Lando see when he goes over and kind of like has a look at like where this spider went?
You can see that the spider's crawled through the crack where Oral's sword has kind of made a bit more of an impact in the ground. And you can see that that's also like maybe a couple of inches off of where the carpet is kind of just like inlaid onto the
Is this
wood.
just wood between Lando and what's happening below?
Yes.
So Detect Magic, I should be able to see what's down there as well. What's going on right below me?
You can only see like the tiniest of the ground underneath, which is kind of just like a disheveled, dirty-ish looking sound. But as far as you're concerned, you're still standing on the main floor. Like you've still got the floorboards. It's just a tiny little crack that the sword has made in the wood. Like it hasn't opened it up enough to where you could get a good peek. But you can definitely tell that there is empty space down there.
Coral, I think this spider wants you to rip this floorboard up.
This spider what? What?
That's the spider.
I said, Coral, I think this spider wants you to rip this floorboard up.
If I tear this floor up, it's probably gonna take down the whole building, wouldn't it? Like, God, I'm no like builder or anything, but don't they need floors to not like collapse?
I don't know. I'm not a builder either. This spider told me to do this.
Well, the spider told you we clearly need to.
I believe that there are beams that hold the buildings. I don't think the floors are holding any weight, or else we would be collapsing it right now. I believe we can probably.
See, the smart one's on my side this time.
All right. Well, if Val says it's a faith, sure, okay.
And
if the spider says this is what we should do.
Real quick, does Lando think that Rose is a spider that was pretending to be a person, or a person that is currently pretending to be a spider?
So, I don't know. Maybe.
Lando, are you?
He might not know what he knows.
He's still a bit drunk from the other day.
Yeah.
Coral, what are you doing?
I guess
lifting it up?
I'll start prying up floorboards, but like keep my distance a little bit, like off to the side, so I'm not collapsing myself down.
What are those beams called? You guys know what I'm talking about in house building,
yeah,
right?
Support beams.
Support, yeah.
Yeah.
Just support beams, support walls. Make me a flat strength check, please.
Strength or athletics?
No, strength.
Strength? Okay.
16. Cool.
16.
So with the 16, you kind of like dig your sword in or kind of get some leverage in it. You are able to kind of pry it open. It's not very difficult. You can see that it is open. Anybody would have noticed from earlier that the carpet that's kind of inlaid in it also comes up with it. That was probably the easiest way we could have opened this, was just pulling on the carpet. But never trust D&D players to take the simple option. We all make things more difficult, and you have kind of lifted up this.
I wanted to know
You
what was
have
under
chipped your
there.
sword a little bit. You have
Hey,
chipped your sword a little bit.
Lando said pull up. He didn't say how.
Clearly. As you kind of open it up and everybody else is now kind of in the midst of it, I need all three of you to make me con save, please.
Ew. All right.
Okay.
Con of a 7.
Not an okay.
Excellent. 18.
16. Cool. So with a 16 and an 18, Val and Coral, you just get this horrible smell. Like, it is absolutely fucking rancid, is what this smell is. Lando, you... where is it? I know I have one of them. There it is. That's fair. You take 2 points of acid damage as you immediately throw up from the smells. Like, from the smell and the feeling, you just immediately just upheave everything you've eaten today, if you even have eaten anything today. But it's the bile that is causing a little bit of acid damage. As you are now kind of looking in, you see the light is just kind of projected down now into the cellar, and everybody can now fully see that the ground that originally was like dirty and musty kind of looking, it looks wet, and the ground looks disgusting, as you can see like bones and skin fragments and kind of a few other like a little bit of droppings from random insects and creatures that have kind of come down. A couple of insects that have died down here from other things. But you can also just kind of see now the creature that's on the left side as you're looking down in. He is looking like, basically like almost paper. Like, he looks rough as hell. He looks like he's been here for a long time, and it doesn't look like he's eaten or drank anything in a long time.
Is
So if
there
everybody
dark
would
on
like
there?
to, yes, you can
Okay.
all see now, though, due to the fact that you've lifted up this large kind of opening, so the light from the outside, where you've lifted it up towards the door, so the light's coming in straight down into it, so you can see what's inside there now. But you can see the 3 cages that are kind of holding these 3 corpses. Ugh. Let's make sure I close my window because it starts raining. So you can see the corpses in the cages, and these cages are like rusted. Part of it is kind of falling apart. You feel like one good smack could shatter this cage. But the gentleman on the left here, you can see that he's kind of like sat and leaning against the wall, chained to it. You can see that he's made an indent in the ground, so where his like feet and his body are sitting, you can see that the kind of filth and like the bones and the blood and all this dried kind of mucus is kind of built up around him. And you can see that he has half of his arm that's kind of still there, but where his hand to his wrist is, and maybe like an inch or 2 up, is just kind of gone. It's like an empty kind of wound there. But as the light kind of hears, all of you can now hear that. And as he's trying to communicate and talk
From
in a
the paper
way.
guy?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll crawl over on the ceiling kind of above him, and then just using the web, I'll just come down about halfway, because I just kind of want to be able to hear better.
Yeah.
you're gonna,
Lando, with playing the music, you can see that he is covered in magic. He is basically like, the beacons are lit, levels of light coming off of this guy. Like, his entire body is just red with blood magic. You can also see that these 3 cages also have a red hue to them, but the creatures inside, the zombies inside, do not.
So does it appear to be alive, or is this like post-mortem gasping?
You can hear it. If you all want to make me investigation on that, you can. Because why not?
Any chance I could do nature to see if it was living or dead?
I mean, if you want to, it's a person.
Sure.
Val is actually going to use her very first magical tinkering, and it's something that we've sort of been talking about. She's going to pull out one of those cubes, and one of the magical tinkering she got was to constantly be able to create the ever bright lantern, so she can now forever, whenever she wants to, I guess 2 things a day, but she can make this lantern whenever she wants, if she wants to now. So she's pulling that lantern out to make sure that we can maybe get a little bit more light. I also got a 25 on that, so.
Wait. So, with an 11, a 14, and a 13, if it wasn't for the fact that you heard some sounds, and you can see that the other 3 cages, the corpses in there, are like long dead. If it wasn't the fact that you heard the sounds, you would assume that this person had died maybe 30, 40 years ago. That's how bad he's looking. Val, you are able to immediately tell that if someone's making those kinds of sounds, they're down here, there's multiple levels, layers of kind of just yuck around them. You can tell that there's definitely been some magic that has kept this thing alive. But that's as far as you've got, because as far as you're concerned, this thing, logically, should not be making sounds unless it was alive.
Lando walks over and gives this thing all the water in his water skin.
As soon as you kind of lift up the water skin and the water comes out, I will give you the chance if you want to stop, because the water just kind of hits his face and he does not react.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'll stop if he's not like actually drinking it. Like if he doesn't. Oh, well, that's surprising. Okay.
As he's sitting there, he just gone. And as he's
I'm gonna lay on Handsome for a point.
Okay. Alrighty, for 1 point. You hear him kind of and as he looks up directly at you, Coral, you can see that his eyes, this is the first time that he's kind of looked in a direction. And he kind of looks at you, and you can see that he's focusing on you. The other 3 can't. In your mind, you hear the words, "Are they gone? Upstairs. Are they gone?
No one's upstairs."
Oh, God. No more?
Let's get this guy out of here. I'm gonna try to lift. I'm gonna fireman carry him up and just hoist him over my shoulders, and then realize, oh wait, we don't have stairs. We came through the floor.
As soon as you go to grab him and lift him, what part of him are you grabbing first?
Like, grab him the shoulders, just do a fireman carry him across my shoulders. You know,
Cool.
He looks pretty light. Yeah.
As soon as you grab a hold of him, I need you to make me another con save.
Con save.
Me and Val made we both made the same face. When you asked which part were you picking up first, we went.
Okay. This basically just confirmed the worries. As soon as you go to grab his shoulder, your hand kind of melds into it as the skin and the mucus kind of wraps around your fingers, and as you kind of grab it out of habit, you're just like, you weren't thinking. You're like, oh, we need to help this man. You grab it.
Exactly.
Before you can react, you grab his shoulder and you just pull it straight out as if it was like meat off a bone.
Oh,
You can see that the bone around the shoulder area has kind of just like not disintegrated or liquefied, but you can see that it's basically like, you know, when you grab a chicken and you've left it in a fridge and that kind of the fat solidifies a little bit. You can see that that's kind of now just kind of like wrapped around your fingers. With a 10, you're not poisoned, you don't take any damage, but it is definitely not good. After a few moments, when you kind of basically pull the shoulder out of this man, he still doesn't react, but it's only a few seconds later where you can hear a light scream in your head, where you can kind of feel the pain of what's happened, but also, as you're kind of screaming, I need all of you to make me a perception check, please. This is such a better way for me to introduce this mechanic than what I did with my main party. Like with my other party. I like this one better. 6, 15, 23, and 13. With the 6 coral, you're just kind of focusing on the fact that you pulled this man's shoulder out of his body. You're just like, that's not fair. That's not okay. With the 13, Val, you can see some form of magic around this man. You can see that there's a little bit of a redness and a tinge to him. With a 15, Lando, and as well with your detect magic, you can see that he has started glowing again, but a lot of it is around his kind of upper body and his arms, like where the glow is happening. Rose, you can see that his shoulder is starting to regrow a little bit, and his hand is starting to grow again to where it is a fully formed hand before it pops off and just lands on the ground.
So guys, this dude is in horrible, torturous pain.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible for us to put him out of his misery? Because it doesn't look like it is. And I think we should.
It
But
appears
it
that
also
maybe
doesn't. It also looks like we'd also torture him if we tried. So I don't know what to do here.
it appears that maybe we will not be able to
You
end his
can
suffering.
all hear the sound of rust shattering as you kind of turn around to see the 3 corpses that were inside the
Well,
thing. You can see that they've kind of gotten up, and you can hear the rust start to break as they kind of shooting their hands out and just
When that starts to happen, Rose will clip off the string that she's attached to the ceiling. And then as she's falling, I will turn back into Rose and just kind of land and get ready to help.
Where were you? Because I know you said that you were over the top of the man.
I'm
How
kind where
close
I am
were
on the
you to
map.
the man?
I was kind of just like one space over, so I imagine he's here. I would have come down, like not directly over top of him, but just like to where I could have like looked at him in his face, so kind of hanging over Coral while he was doing this.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I was fully prepared for you to forget where you were
Land on
and
the
just
zombie.
land on top of him and just
Nope.
crush this poor man.
I put my token where I wanted it, just in case.
All right.
Omega's drilled into my head. Tokens. Token.
Alrighty. So as you all kind of hear the sound, I need to make sure that this all works. I hate my mouse. So my mouse has this thing where it double clicks, and I don't know why, and it pisses me off. But I will need everybody to roll initiative, please.
Oh no, I don't like zombies.
I love zombies.
Oh.
Right, where's my phone? Ugh. Let me keep track. Alrighty, we are throwing up a turn order. So,
I'm like puke and then cry. So in
we
real
don't need a
life,
turn order. Okay, so we've got a 10, a 16, 8, and a 13. Where is my pen? I had a pen. Fuck it, I'll just use my phone. Notes! Because I was not planning. Which is weird for me saying I was not planning for this, but at the same time I was kind of hoping that it would happen. 10.
You weren't planning. You should have seen this coming.
I did say earlier. Okay, that one, and that one. Okay, starting off with the 16, Coral, you are up first. So as you hear the sounds of rust starting to break, you can hear the sounds of these kind of zombies just as they're kind of like trying to reach through and break the rust of the cages. What are you doing?
Okay, is the guy I'm next to doing anything at all besides just being a almost corpse?
He is, after kind of screaming in your head, and you kind of see that the hand just kind of like pops off. He has gone quiet again, but he's still lucid.
Okay, then I'm gonna ignore him and go 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy,
Yep.
and I will attack him with my sword.
Okay, roll me an attack, please.
That's an 11.
There's an 11. An 11 will hit.
Hey, and solid 7.
So with the 7 damage, as you kind of like go through, are you trying to hit the arms popping out of it? Are you trying to like stab through? How are you trying to hurt or harm?
Yeah,
this
so I'm
undead?
gonna try to stab right through the bars at the center mass because I'm presuming this thing's gonna keep trying to break out of there and start attacking us.
Essentially, yeah. So as you kind of grab your sword and you're trying to dig through, you aim for the head, but you kind of lose your step a little bit. As soon as your sword kind of hits the rusted metal, there is no resistance as your sword kind of just breaks through the rusted kind of smell, that sound, as the kind of metal on metal screech comes through, and you dig it through the stomach. But even with the people that you fought upstairs and the people now down here with the zombies, it just goes straight through like butter as
Okay.
you kind of just drive straight through and down into it. And then I'm going to roll this.
What
Alrighty.
kind of damage was that you just dealt? I'm sorry. Was it slashing?
Yeah.
Okay, with the 13, Rose, you are up next. What would you like to do?
So, did you say when he attacked, it went straight through the bars? Or okay.
The metal itself just immediately fell through as if there was nothing.
Oh, not through the zombie itself.
No, it hit the zombie and it went through like butter as well.
Oh,
But the
okay.
rust,
Right.
the
Sword hit everything. Sword went through everything.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm really good.
But seeing that, they could probably just walk on out, or maybe get out on their own. Okay, so 20-foot cube. Let's see. How did we do this? Line,
I don't know.
square.
How do you do this?
All right, so yeah,
Mhm.
20-foot cube. I could hit lots of people. I'm gonna cast an entangle back here. So it's if I cast it right here, boom, that should get both of them and none of our friends. So I'm gonna need both of these two, the top ones. They're gonna have to give me a strength saving throw.
You talk like a DM when you're a player.
What do you mean? Well, sure, that's true. I do.
The way you asked for the roll was like a DM.
I'm so used to it. I'm sorry.
I know. I thought it was funny.
Okay, so entangled, I'm assuming just withholds their movement.
So so from this crazy, disgusting ground, these vines start sprouting up and they start wrapping around the ankles of these things, then up all the way through their calves. So they are restrained by this, and they can use their action to make a strength check against my spell save DC to free themselves. But otherwise, they are currently restrained.
So the top one is restrained, and the second one that is kind of next to the one that Coral is fighting is not restrained. We had a 6 and an 18.
Okay, 18 succeeds. Yeah, for sure.
I'd hope so.
I don't know. I got a good. It's not that good though. DC's 15.
So did that deal damage, or was that just to hold them?
That's just a hold.
Okay,
Entangle
all right.
is. Yep.
So I'm writing down the note. It's entangled. I need that. Whoops, wrong way.
Oh, and for the duration, the plants turn the ground into difficult terrain. So we've got difficult terrain right around these people.
All right. So as you kind of throw out these vines, these thorns, whatever it is that you want to do, as they do kind of come around, some of the thorns itself catch on some of the like more meatier chunks, the skin, and starts to bring up a little bit. As your vines do wrap around the legs of the one creature at the top, you can see that it kind of tries to hold onto it, but it can't quite get a grip. And as it kind of like tightens, because it's obviously like, oh, well, we need to tighten, it's entangled. As it kind of tightens, it collapses through, and he takes 6 points of damage as your vines come down from the ground, go back into it. You did technically entangle it, but you also took out its legs, and it kind of just like mushy onto the ground. So it isn't entangled, but it has no legs, it needs to crawl. So it is still difficult terrain, but it is not entangled because it just kind of went through. Alrighty. Lando, my good friend, you are up next. As you heard this kind of sound of the vines kind of wrapping and breaking through, and then you hear the as it just kind of lands flat on the ground there. You can hear these sounds of just as it kind of tries to reach out and grab you. What are you doing?
All right. I think. Now, how do I do the? There it is.
What are we looking for? All good?
There would be no way to hit. No way to hit all of these. Okay, that's all I was trying to see if I could hit them with. I was just trying to see if I could hit 2 with Thunderwave. All right. In that case, I'm going to attempt
Isn't
Dissonant
Thunderwave a
Whispers.
cube out from you? Or am I thinking
Actually,
of
you're
something
right
else?
about that. What am I doing? You're right about that. It is a cube. I bet it would work then. Let's see this again then.
If it's a 15-foot cube, there's nothing close enough to one another.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't know why I'm helping you, but
then in that case, I'll do Dissonant
nicer than me.
Whispers again. I'll do Dissonant Whispers against the one that Coral originally hit.
Yep. Does that require a roll?
Yes, it has to do a Wisdom 14.
A Wisdom 14?
Mm-hmm.
It fails.
Yay!
Alright.
It's going to take 8 damage.
Dang! That's some damage. Oh, not that one. Sorry, that is the other one. Trust me to not be paying attention to which monsters are which on my phone. Alrighty, so with the Dissonant Whispers, you normally... I am a very realistic kind of person in the sense of if you're trying to make a whispers happen inside of a zombie's mind, it's not going to do a whole lot. If anything, it would have kind of resistance to that sense of the thing. This one's very different. You've seen that the first one that Coral went into with the sword kind of just went straight through. So this isn't just a regular thing. This is basically holding itself together with sheer will and determination. And with the other one kind of having their legs completely snapped off and kind of pulled down into the ground from the vines, you can see that the whispers itself, you see the zombie kind of just and you can see that its head is starting to splinter and kind of pull. The left side of its face starts to kind of slide off as it kind of shakes a little bit more and then just and it looks directly at you and just as it takes its turn. And this is the fun part, because I need to quickly look something up. Alright. So,
So did it take the full damage I dealt that time?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
it took full damage.
Okay.
As you're kind of standing there and watching this thing, you see that its head's shaking and it looks directly at you and starts to just, and it moves forward. And you can see that as it kind of does, when it's leaning itself up against the cage wall, you can see that its skin and its body is starting to make an indent in it as it starts to like push itself through before the whole thing just collapses and falls down. But as it's falling, which is kind of the fun part, it's going to fall out of the cage and you're going to see its body start to writhe a little bit until it puts one hand on the ground. And I'm going to need you to do something for me. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
All of us?
Just Lando.
Oof.
As you see the red hue from the 14. As you see the red blood magic hue kind of start to spark around the zombie, you kind of take a moment before you're taken a little bit of a step back from watching this zombie kind of like push itself through. You can see in its face when it looks up the indent squares from the cage of the rust kind of in its skin. You can see that it's kind of like, think of like a pork belly that you kind of cut and just kind of in there. But you see the red hue appear around it as you start to hear bells in your head kind of start to ring, and you hear them playing a little bit more, but you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no bells down here, and you survived. Toll the dead.
I can hear the bell.
Okay.
Alrighty. Hey, Val.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Cry a little bit.
Yeah, these are.
This is my first attempt at horror, by the way.
These are sticking around.
Oh, nice.
It's real yucky. Real yucky. All right, so I think what she's probably gonna do is she's probably gonna grab one of her stones and make it magic, and then try to hit probably this one. I'm still on pan, but yeah, I'm gonna hit this one over here.
Yeah.
So cool. We'll do that then. 11.
An 11 will hit.
Excellent. For 9 damage.
Or 9 damage. So tell me, what exactly are you doing to this one? You haven't killed it, but what are you doing?
Great. So she has her little pouch on her side, so she's gonna, cast her little magic stone spell, which makes 3 of them magic. She's gonna put it in her little sling, and she's calculating sort of like the most efficient. I think she's probably aiming for the head. I bet you she probably thinks that the head is probably gonna kill it. And so she's probably trying to aim for the head, and she's gonna just like shoot her catapult at it. Or not catapult, but her little sling at it.
No worries. So with the sling kind of aiming, this one, aside from Lando, who was a bit surprised by the cage kind of falling through, you do manage to actually get this one in the head. You manage to get it through the middle with the nose, and you can see that with the rock now kind of put in, you can see almost a perfect indent in its face here as it kind of goes straight through and out the other end. And this one is now kind of looking directly at you.
Cool, great.
As it takes its turn, you can see this one now. This one's now like on the ground. It's got no legs. It's kind of having to crawl everywhere. So movement speed is halved and difficult, which is good for everybody. Sorry.
Is it halved twice because of the difficult terrain, or were you saying that it was?
It also doesn't have legs, so
yeah, that's.
I'm not trying. I'm just trying to get what you're saying. I'm not trying to pedantically argue.
As it kind of like lands on the ground, it's kind of like trying to lean through, and it's going to make it roll. Sweet. You can see, well, not sweet for you, but sweet for me. You can see that it's kind of leaning against the cage itself and kind of starting to like shake it a little bit. until eventually it kind of like shakes it enough to where it pushes its hands through, grabs some of the cage, and I need to know. An 8 will miss you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's gonna miss me.
Cool. You're gonna see this kind of zombie scream a little bit at you, just as it rips open the cage and throws some of the rusted metal at you. It's gone wide.
Yeah.
But that is its turn. And then the last one, dear Coral. Hi, how's it going, buddy? Are you having fun? I hope you're having fun.
Oh,
I'm enjoying
okay.
myself. With the zombie kind of standing, I need to see. I can't remember what the name of this spell is. Oh, I think I just remembered what the name of this spell is. You can see that it's kind of leaning towards you, and as it's kind of like looking at you, it's basically reaching through. You can see that where you kind of cut through the metal is around the torso, so the face itself is still holding on. But I'm going to need you to make me a wisdom saving throw as its hands reach up and latch onto your shoulders, and it pulls you in as
Nope.
it reaches
Thanks.
through. So with a 6.
Bardic inspiration, perhaps.
I think you got to do that on your turn, don't you? Isn't it a bonus action?
Yeah, you gotta do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to hand
We
them out.
forgot to do it. You told us to not forget to remind you, and we
I know.
forgot to
Remind me,
you.
I have it. I always.
It's our fault.
I
We
need to
forgot
learn
to
I have
remind
it.
you.
You gotta remind us to remind you.
So, Coral, as you're you're gripped by this zombie. So part of it is that you are kind of grappled technically, as it's digging its hands, its kind of sludgy hands, into your shoulders. You are going to take 5 points of a piercing damage as your skin is being pulled into the metal, but you're also going to take 2 acid damage as the fingers from this creature are just kind of like melding into your shoulders.
Okay. That's not fun.
No, it's not. But we do take it to the top of the round. So, Coral, what would you like to do in retaliation to this?
All right.
You
So
are grappled.
so I'm grappled with the guy, so I can't
You are.
swing it.
Do not believe that you can swing it grappled.
Yeah, I think I got.
Grappled creature's speed becomes 0, and if it's incapacitated, it doesn't say you can't.
Okay. Well, then yeah, I'm gonna stab
That's
him
what
again.
the DM screen is saying. It doesn't say you can't attack it. You're just grappled.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's a little confusing. I always get confused with grapples.
Yeah, grapples. They change the rules on it every edition, it seems.
Yeah.
All right. Then yeah, stabbing away at him.
Stabbing away at him. Please roll to hit.
There we go. That's a hit.
23. Is that a crit? No, it is not.
No, it's not. All right. I really don't like getting grabbed by this guy, so I'm going to. Yeah, I'm gonna use a spell slot for a smite on him.
Brilliant.
Probably overkill, but whatever. So that turns it into an extra 2d8 radiant damage.
Brilliant.
So there's the main damage, and do I just roll just d8s in this? Oh, this one. Got it.
I'm having fun.
Nice.
14. Beautiful.
7 plus 14 smite, so 21.
Cool. As you kind of pull the spite, I'm assuming you're using your sword for the basically the catalyst for it. You kind of like bring it up and around. You don't really take any chances as your sword kind of glows with this, to everybody else, a beautiful yellow-white glow. And as your sword, you kind of bring it up, and as you kind of hit the head and just go down as if you're just cutting into nothing, you can see that the more that you go down, the body itself is kind of like crawling in as you're going down until it hits the bottom. You are no longer grappled. it is very dead. And you can see that it has what was once a zombie is now just a mound of flesh and mucus on the ground at your feet.
That's gross.
Yes.
Gross.
Alrighty. Let me scroll up because I have written Lando's name twice, which is hilarious. I forgot I needed to write Rose's name because Rose, it is your turn.
Yeah, I think. Okay. So Rose will 10, 15, run up to here.
Yep.
Can I see them from here, or not from the pillar?
There is the pillar in between it, but you know that it's there.
Okay.
It's a pillar that's holding up the base
Okay.
of the house, but you can see that it's there.
Okay. So what I'm trying to do is, so as I run up, as I'm going through the pillar, or like behind the pillar, I want to cast Vine Whip and whip this thing. And if I hit, I pull it 10 feet. So what I'm trying to do is grab it and then pull it into the pillar.
Into the thing? Yep.
Yeah.
Feel free
That's
to
fun.
roll.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's smart. I like that.
Oh. Come on, hit. 20, dirty.
Dirty 20 is going to make it.
Oh, for 1 point of damage.
For 1 point of damage, I will get you to roll me another 1d6, please.
Okay.
Because it hits the pillar.
3.
Yes. So as you kind of... Excuse me. As you use your... kind of throw out your Vine Whip, it does catch on the pillar itself, as it kind of needs to use that as a weight to kind of hold it steady. As your whip kind of wraps around the body of this zombie, you pulling it back, it does the damage of kind of attaching itself to it, but as you pull it, you do manage to pull the whole thing because your vine has wrapped around enough of the body to pull it with you. But as you do, you see that you have kind of just pulled through, and this body is just kind of like haphazardly sitting on itself, as your little vine whip has just tiny little bit of mucus that's coming off it. But
I'll just let it wither, and as I bring it back, it just disconnects from my hand and withers onto the ground.
It's just like, ew, 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 gross, ew, it touched me.
Then I'll run down here. Boom.
Brilliant. Alrighty, and now it is our good friend. This one has been pulled into the thing. It is his turn, so he is now going to look at the party and see how it's all kind of just. And you can hear the zombie itself starting to speak and begging, and just. And as it does, Rose, you were the last one to hit it. You need to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
We're working on it. You said wisdom saving throw, yes?
Yes.
I'm good at those. 26.
You're fine as you start to hear the bells as well. And as the bells are starting to play, it reminds you of kind of not church bells, but the bells of old from when you were younger. You remember and kind of feel like these bells played a tune in your head that's different to what you think everybody else would hear. Whereas other people will hear the sound of these old church bells ringing, you hear light chiming as if someone's hitting these tiny little glass bells and playing a melody in your head. And I need you to make me a history check, please.
Okay.
Ooh.
I like that. History begins with an H. There it is.
Yes, it does. Well done.
7.
Excellent.
7. You recognize this kind of sound, these chimes, but that's it. Nothing kind of triggers your memory. As it kind of looks towards you, you see the zombie turn to look at Coral, and it starts to kind of shamble its way as you hear the as it kind of walks up to you, and I need to know, does a 15 hit you?
It does not.
It does not. As you see this zombie kind of walking up to you and shambling along, you can hear just the as it kind of reaches forward and tries to grab you by the throat. As it misses, and you see that it falls, and the top part of it where the vine whip kind of come through, you can see that the top half of the body, where basically where the breasts are, just kind of flops over onto the ground as the rest of the body's still standing. Who is up next? We have Val up next, I believe. No, we have Lando up. No, it is Val. I'm stupid. I did write it down correctly.
Backwards, yeah. The first
I
time.
feel
I
like
did write
Lando
it
got
correctly.
skipped though.
Yeah.
I feel like Lando got skipped though.
The Lando rolled an 8 for initiative. Val had the 10. I
think what happened is last time we went backwards on accident.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
That's okay. Okay, I understand then.
Yeah, no worries. It
This
doesn't
gives
really
you
matter.
one. This gives you just a
upset.
little bit longer to remember bardic inspiration.
I'm obsessive, and I've been writing. Oh, it's all blurry. I'm obsessive. I've been writing down like everything, and that's why I've just been like wondering. Like, so I was just like, he skipped me.
I did write down on my phone like the initiatives and that, and I've just gotten it wrong.
Just doing your own thing.
No, listen. Ignore me, but I'll try to fight you. Just ignore me.
Let's just make it Dragonbane rules. You just pick random people as you go every turn.
We're working on vibes. It's vibes.
We're working on vibes.
I'm here for it. Go on.
I think Val saw that the stone didn't do enough. And so she is also going to cast a spell. This is going to be real fun. So she has catapult. And what this is going to look like for her is she has this big stupid backpack on the back of her. And what she does is she has like a little like button on the side of her backpack on like one of her shoulders, and she's gonna, or like a set of buttons, and she's gonna press those sets of buttons, and out of the back of the backpack, it's gonna like the catapult is gonna come out of the back of her backpack, and she's gonna press a button to make it go.
I absolutely love that.
And so I think it's a dexterity saving throw 14.
Well, which one are you targeting?
Probably the same one that she did last time, if she's still alive.
That is there. Okay, so the one that you're targeting, that is kind of the crawling one from before, I'm assuming. All right. Yeah. It's going to be an automatic fail. It is not able to kind of move out of the way, so I will get you to roll damage.
Excellent.
I'm not going to be a dick and say the zombie suddenly has movement and it rolls to the side. No, this bitch ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, 13.
It just falls apart at a certain way to where it just happens to miss.
Yeah. 13 does hit, so please roll.
Well, no, 13 is the damage.
Oh, 13 is the damage?
Yeah.
Dang. Yo, the catapult's awesome.
Catapult, baby!
Catapult's great. I mean, don't you remember? I think catapult is what Ace used to take down Tiamat with a shoe.
Tiamat, yeah, with a shoe.
So...
It was amazing. It was incredible. It was.
What? You're supposed to die, I heard.
You're gonna watch. It was Final Fantasy Tiamat. You need to go watch.
Oh, okay.
You need to watch Kupo Quest.
As you kind of launch the catapult at this creature, you see that it kind of like half misses a little bit at first and like goes a little bit off before it hits the back of the wall itself, pulls down and then rolls and just crushes it as it comes through, as if it's like going through mud.
Excellent.
As the top one is Daddy Buys, which we love. You did squish it and you did a great job, sweetie. We're so proud of you. Lando, what do you want to do?
Now that I'm not being skipped. All right, so there's only this one.
Quit bitching, you baby.
So this one's the only one left then.
Yes.
All right. In that case. But he hasn't been hit at all.
He has. He has lost some damage. He was the one that was attacked with the Vine Whip.
Oh, okay. Well, then I got my information wrong. All right.
Trying to
well,
come
in
at
that
me
case, I'm
saying I
gonna
speak
just
in terms
do.
they can't pay attention properly. I see how it is.
All right. Well,
So
I'm
it's
just
the
gonna do
GM that
vicious
messes up
mockery on him,
initiative.
and he's like a zombie. Well, he's like a. He's not really a zombie. I don't know what is he really.
As far as
Not
you're
really a
concerned, he
zombie.
is a zombie.
He's a zombie.
Oh,
Okay.
zombie.
I guess I don't have to try hard with my insults. I can just be like your mom or whatever with my vicious mockery. And bam, there we
You're
go.
good.
So
But it's a wisdom 14 saving throw.
okay.
I like to think that Lando's just like tired of this, and he's like, I don't know, your mom.
I'm just cashing it in while I can. I don't want to waste my good
Uh,
insults. These
with,
zombies.
he rolled a 12 with modifiers, which I believe
All right,
fail.
so he fails. It's a
Yep.
14. So he takes 2 damage and disadvantage on the next attack roll.
Cool. You can see that he kind of, like, again, in his head, the same one that had happened before with the whispers. I think it was the dissonant whispers. I can't remember. This one again kind of starts to just turn towards you, and just as it starts to move its way towards you. But it is Coral's turn.
I think we're doing these guys a favor, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I'm just gonna to chop him, put him out of his misery here.
Alrighty.
The good old chop.
Good
Good
old
old
chop.
chop. That's probably not gonna do it. 9.
That hits.
9 hits. Oh, okay.
They have very low AC according to the book. And
Apparently.
I didn't feel like adding to it because I'm like, they are moss. If anything, I've lessened their AC.
Yeah.
All right. 8 damage.
Alrighty, they take 8 damage as you cut through. What are you cutting through? What do you want to do to this thing?
Like, yeah, I'm still
It's
gonna
still
target
alive.
because that seems to do the trick, and these things like fall apart when you hit them. So yeah,
Alright, so what are you attacking?
just attack the guy, just center mass, just
Straight down? Cool.
straight down. Yeah.
So as you take your sword and you cut straight down, you effectively slice this thing into two, as the upper waist and its legs fall to the side. But you can hear a scream, like a muffled scream from below, and you hear a little bit of a gurgling sound as you can hear the scream from the head. Basically, the upper body, it still has its arms, its still shoulders, but you can see from basically like the breasts up, you can see that it gargles and just kind of looks up at you. And as you look down at this thing, you can see that there's like kind of a little bit of flesh, there's a little bit of a mucus starting to come out of its mouth as you see it bubble a little bit. You took out the bottom half of the body, but the top half of it is still at your feet.
Ew.
Rose, what do you want to do to it?
Is this the only one still up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kill it.
Just
All right.
sort of up.
Yeah. It should have quit while it was ahead.
Nah.
10, 15.
Just
I'll
to
go
see
up to
what it
here. I'm going to try to
No.
vine whip it again, trying to get it away from Coral. So I'll run up and again create this vine that kind of wraps around my wrist and then shoots out. So let's see if I can hit. This time just trying to pull it off of Coral. Ooh.
So I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
don't mean to do this. I'm in my third new room, and I didn't realize the air conditioner blows right here directly on me, and I am freezing. So I'm gonna go get like something, a sweatshirt. I'll be right back. Okay,
No
just
problem.
keep going without me.
It's because you're so cool. Anyway,
10. Is that hits, right?
10 hits, yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
And
Great damage. Great damage. But
as
I pull it
you-
10 feet, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Alright, I'll get you to roll me a
It's
d4,
appreciated.
please.
A D4.
Yes.
My D4 rolls higher than my D6. 3.
Incredible and a little sad. As you kind of wrap the vine around the upper head and the body of this thing, you do manage to get a little bit more of a hold. It takes the 1 damage, which is nice. But as you kind of yank it back, as you do, everybody... Character question. How squeamish is everybody?
I imagine Rose is not that squeamish.
Yeah,
Based on where she grew
Val
up.
lacks a lot of empathy, so I think she has a very like surgeon like view on things where like this is more of a science experiment than a like
Cole's probably pretty squeamish, but he adapts quickly.
Alright, okay, so you've seen this thing be basically torn apart. You've seen the other ones be torn apart. You're fine. As you pull it back the 10 feet, you can hear the sound of the vine squelching into the head and the body. But as you pull it back, you hear, like, Coral, you can hear the little scream as it comes back, just as it kind of comes back. But then you also hear the as it hits the pillar of the one support, and you can hear the thud as it cracks onto it. But you can also hear the sounds of the liquids and the kind of sounds of water as part of it gets torn off, as it kind of splatters onto the ground beside you, Rose. Because that's lots of fun and games.
I bet you Lando's pretty squeamish.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
I would say Rose isn't like that action, like what happened didn't bother Rose, but if it like almost splashes on her, that would bother her. You know what I mean? So she'll jump back a little bit and be like, pleasant.
As it does, you can see now.
I'm gonna run back
zombie,
down too.
Yeah.
This zombie is now looking at you. You see that it gets up and kind of like holds itself up on its arms on the ground. It's basically like crawling. But as it does, you can see that it starts to scream a little bit louder, and I need everybody to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
Wisdom's my worst.
Too bad.
13.
14.
Blur.
13, 14, 8. Okay. Let's make sure that I've got all of these correctly. 22, 14, 13. This is... never mind. Y'all have got another chance to roll. I asked for the wrong thing. I need a constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, cool. That one's worse.
Way worse. I rolled terrible.
If you pass the wisdom, which is Coral and Val, you two can roll it at advantage. The other two roll flat.
Cool.
Because I called for the wrong one.
Give it to you.
I should, but it's
okay. That's great. I got a 12 is the best I did on that one.
Yeah, my best was a 13. Which sucks because my wisdom saving throw was a +7, so I rolled real bad.
Ooh. That sucks.
Yeah.
So, Lando with an 8, Coral with a 9, Rose with an 11, and what did you say yours was, Val?
12.
Con check, a 12. So, I need...
advantage making me a 20.
Advantage making it a 20? Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
So, I didn't do a save. I did a check. I'm sorry. Do you want me to actually roll a save? I pressed the wrong button.
What's the difference? Just what's the modifier difference?
Yeah,
some get bonuses. Some classes get bonuses, and
yeah, no. I'm just saying, what's the difference between the two? Just add it, I would say.
Yeah, so 14, I guess.
Cool. So you two will pass, which is always nice to see. Alrighty. So you two pass. You guys will take a total of 6 damage, and Lando and Rose, you two failed. You two are going to take 12 damage and be pushed back as you hear this zombie scream, and the two of you are pushed 10 feet backwards as it casts and screams Thunderwave in the middle of the room.
Lando's down.
Just before you go down, Lando, you see that this thing is rearing something big as the red glow from Detect Magic starts to glow brighter before everything just starts to go very dark in a moment. And
So how much damage did the rest of you guys take?
So they took 6, and you and Rose took 12.
Damn.
As we go to Val.
He looks almost dead, right? Almost squished.
I mean, this thing has basically just been torn apart. It is kind of just a shambling arms on a head. You can't tell if it's close to death because it is just still going.
Always close to death.
But you're pretty close to you. Go.
Oh, I'm sorry. We dealt 14 damage to this one. The other lowest one we dealt was 17 damage, so we're probably pretty close.
Okay, cool. She's probably going to try another magic stone. She's gonna do some calculations real quick and then pull out her sling and just try to hit it with her stone.
Okay.
12
is gonna hit.
And then that's gonna be for 5 damage.
For 5 damage, what's with the +4?
It's hang on. It's covering my thing. It's 1d6 plus 4.
So
1d6 plus 4. So you do 9 damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what?
You rolled a 5. So you get.
I don't know what happened. Yeah.
+4. 5 + 4.
I'm not here today.
This whole session is just a learning experience for
I'm
everybody.
just so tired. I'm not pressing the right buttons today.
Oh, I did better than I thought? Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Go for it.
So as you kind of throw or use a sling on this thing, you can see, you can see that the sling hits it in the head, and it knocks the head off of the body as it rolls. And as the head kind of stays and like builds into the mush of the one that was before it, you can see that the arms of it is still animated. But it is on 1 HP, which is nice.
So close. And yet so far.
Lando, you are down. I'm going to need a death saving throw. Who would have thought that some zombies in a random town would be the most dangerous thing I've thrown at any of my players?
How do I do a death saving throw on D&D Beyond?
If you're down and your HP is at 0, at the top right it should be like a plus and a minus, or like a death save and a saving throw and all that. If there's not a button there, just like roll a flat d20 and just dot it out as it comes. But I think there is like one at the top right, I can't remember. 15. Yay!
Yay!
1 in the positive. Let's go.
1 success. Good for me.
Coral.
Save me, please.
Yep.
I got him.
I'm
You're
going
strong.
to.
You can't hear any more gurgling. You can't hear any more cries or asks for help or to kill or anything. But what you can hear is a as it kind of moves, just.
All right. Yep. Coming over
Well,
here.
you also hear Lando being like, "Oh, help me! Oh,
Can we?
Oh.
Can we speak out of initiative? Is that okay or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, go ahead.
And Rose would say, "Coral, I've got Lando."
You got Lando?
Okay. Got him.
What is like a turn is like 6 seconds. You can say a couple of things before you do something.
I got Lando's enough. All right, then yeah, I'm gonna step there and whatever's left of the bits of him that are still active, I'm just gonna stab until they stop moving. If there's something moving down there, I'm gonna make it stop.
Roll for attack.
Do not get a 1.
Ooh,
20.
Nice.
I suppose a 23 will hit, I guess.
All right. Well, 4 damage. So,
what is up with all these 1 damage rolls tonight?
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody has gone through the monster manual, but as you're kind of like chopping into this thing, you are doing as much kind of like you want to kill it as you can. Every time you put your sword into it, you can hear the and then just like as it kind of like goes in and out. As you're chopping through, you can feel it kind of like getting lower into the ground, like you're pushing it in, but you can feel it grab your ankle.
Gross.
And it's
Okay.
still
This thing
animated.
needs to go.
I have found a love for zombies.
Oh, I love zombies. Yeah,
I'm tired
It's
of
so
them.
much fun.
I know zombies have a little trick. They're
It's so
great.
much fun. Rose, what would you like to do?
Rose, as she kind of stops herself from sliding back, will immediately just run over, seeing that Lando did not fare as well, and I will
Help me! Help me! I need help.
just hold still as I'll put my hands and do cure wounds.
Lando's being super dramatic, like
Lando
over the top.
is a Southern belle and a half.
Yes, she is.
All right, 8 points of healing back to you with my final spell slot.
Oh, you saved me.
Yes, well, up on your feet now. Come on.
I do declare.
Alrighty. Rose, is there anything else that you can do on your turn?
Not that I'm gonna do, no.
Alright. As it turns to the zombies' turn, as we love that.
Wait 1 second. Maybe I can. Let me check if this is a bonus action or not. Sorry.
It's doing a thing.
I am.
You are?
I am, but I'm gonna. I gave you 8. What am I at? Okay, I'll do this one to myself. So I'm gonna use the first use of my Balm of the Summer Court. As a bonus action, by spinning dice from the pool, you can restore HP to one creature you can see within 120 feet. That creature also gains 1 temporary hit point per die spent. And my energy pool is 2d6, so I'll use one. Spinning dice from the pool. Does that mean I roll 1d6 or 2d6? I'm not sure.
Not sure. Sounds like your 2d6 might be the full thing.
What's the ability?
It is the Balm of the Summer Court. Zenithor's Guide to Everything, page 22. I'll just roll 1 for now,
Yeah.
and then I'll look it up. So then I will get 6 HP back and 1 temporary hit point. Okay.
Cool. Alrighty. As this thing now, this shambling abomination of a thing, you can hear the squelch as it kind of reaches in and pushes down on all of these kind of just bones and skin and meat of some description that we would not like to pay attention to. You can see that it kind of holds on to you, and I need to know. A 4 is definitely going to miss, yeah?
Right.
100%.
Weirdly enough, my AC just dropped all the way to 3.
My
What?
lord.
You have armor. What is your armor?
For me?
Yes. What armor are you holding? Or what armor are you wearing?
Yeah, I'm wearing a chain with a shield.
Okay. Allow me to go quickly to Google. Sweet! I get to roll my dice again. It still misses. You kind of can feel it kind of channeling some form of power as it reaches onto you, and you can feel a little tingle in your ankle, but you don't feel anything more than that as it attempted to cast Shocking Grasp on you.
Ooh.
But, Val, how would you
Okay.
like to attempt to end this?
Don't like
Okay.
magic zombies.
Val's got another thing in her backpack, so she's gonna actually step a little bit closer, and I know that's gonna put her into the grass, but the vines, but it doesn't matter because it's almost over anyways. She's gonna get up to here, and she is going to press another button on her backpack, and out is going to come a bunch of like circular sword things, and they're gonna quick spin around her, so it's gonna like all the like gooey stuff that's like trying to get up, it's gonna cut through all of that.
Yep.
For a dexterity saving throw of 14, but that's probably gonna fail automatically, right?
It will automatically fail, yes.
Just so you know, because when you said that, it reminded me. I failed the con save, so the binds are gone now. I lost concentration. I think I was concentration. So.
Oh,
great, cool, awesome. Then I'm not in binds, but it only hit for 2 damage.
Alrighty. This thing is not going down. I'll be honest, this one rolled a nat 20 for that one.
Cool.
So it's still up. It still has some form of animation, some form of arcane thing going around it. As Lando, you are up.
Maybe I can insult its mom. Hold on. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to do vicious mockery. I'm going to insult its fat mom. It's a 14 wisdom throw.
It's gonna fail.
It's going to take 4 damage.
Yeah.
Plus, it's going to disadvantage on the next attack roll.
Cool. It would probably be very insulted if it still had a head to hear you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to do?
I don't really have anything. Well, I guess I could do
Bardic Inspiration.
I suppose I could try my. What?
Inspiration.
Bardic Inspiration.
Well, actually, okay, yeah, you're right. Who should I Bardic Inspire?
You do you want. I was just reminding you. I was just fulfilling my portion of the social contract.
No. I thank you because I keep forgetting I have it.
Probably Coral.
I was gonna be like, I'll do my second-hand weapon here in a second, and like gonna miss. So, Bardic Inspiration is much better. Who should I give it to? Who wants it?
I think Coral.
Coral.
Yeah,
Coral is probably the best bet.
Okay. Coral, I'll give you Bardic Inspiration. It's a 1d6
right.
you can add to ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
All right.
Cool. As you feel this thing holding on to you, Coral, what would you like to do to it?
Oh, I'm gonna just keep trying to kill it and make it stop moving because I don't know what else to do to this thing. So yeah, stab it, scrape it off my foot, step on it, and stab it again.
Rolling to attack.
I'm using that inspiration.
Cool. You hit it.
All right.
How much damage are you doing? Hopefully a lot.
8 damage. Let's see if that does it.
Alrighty. We shall roll our dice. Wolf knows what's up. He's just waiting for it to not go down.
Yeah, I know what's going on.
Alrighty.
I've fought these before.
So,
they're so annoying.
As you start just thrashing around, doing everything that you're doing, would you like to tell us how you end this battle?
I'd fail finally.
Okay. Yeah, so there's still little bits of it that are crawling around and grabbing at my leg. I'm just gonna kick it off and just and like kick it into the air and slice it in half with my sword and kill it. Yeah. Hacky stack style and just slap.
Hacky stack. Oh, that's funny. That's great. Alrighty. There's just someone in the background holds up a 10. The paper guy holds up a 10. So, as you finally take down this zombie, as everything's kind of starting to come to an end, it starts to get very eerily quiet. As you can still hear the in your head, Coral. You can hear Are they all dead? All gone?
Yeah, we got them all.
Who are you talking to?
No more.
I
No
look back
more.
at the guy that's came apart a little bit.
Coral, no
He
one's
making noise.
talking.
Is it coming from him?
You. And you can hear it trying to move a little bit, and as it kind of like lifts its hand just the slightest little bit, you can see that it kind of loses that kind of power that it did have and just kind of falls its hand down. You kind of just oh good gone. No. More. Oh, give me it.
End it.
Kill me. In your head, you just hear a very light, almost ethereal kind of sound ring around, kind of like it's ringing around a circle in your head. And you can just hear the kill it. No more.
I'm gonna do a divine sense here.
Okay,
See
tell me what you need to do because I have not heard of that before.
Oh yeah, that's the paladin detect. It detects good and evil. If there's a hallow spell or a non-hallow spell, celestial fiend or undead presence.
Right.
Gonna guess you're gonna get a ping on that undead presence.
Yeah,
Just
but
a thought.
Alrighty, I am going to have a Google, but with the divine sense.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't see anything aside from this creature in front of you. It's confusing you. And it
Okay.
confuses you for two reasons. One, it's showing up as undead. It's showing up as if it has been dead for a very long time. And you're almost getting the feeling that this thing has been dead for at least 30 years. But it's confusing you because it's still talking. It still has sentience. And it's growing body parts that are kind of just falling off. Make me perception check, please.
Sure. Nope. 8.
No, you haven't noticed. So you can see that this thing is confusing because it's undead. It's showing up as it's not
It's
alive.
undead and it's asking to
but
die.
it's
Okay.
acting as if it's alive.
All right. I'm gonna draw my sword and get ready to run it through.
Cool.
Is that gonna do anything to stop me?
It's just
wait. What if I'm with you that we need to put this dude out of his misery, but you've already ripped his arm off. You see, he's already grown it back. What I'm thinking is we need to find a way to deal some type of blow that he can't recover from. Like remove his head and take it away from his body, or completely burn and destroy his body, like make sure he cannot heal.
Fire could
Otherwise,
work. Fire's a good
we're
idea.
just going to be torturing him.
I can sometimes make fire, but I can't right now. I mean, maybe the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way, I think I can, but
Well, okay. Well, let's. If we need to perform last rites for him, we can do that another time. Or I don't have the ability to do that right now either. So,
I mean, I'd just rather not torture someone that
yeah.
I'm with you that
Right.
we need to end this. I'd just rather not torture him.
All right.
as we're having this conversation,
Be your
and
god, and
go ahead.
decapitate.
Alrighty. You basically just cut this thing's head off in one fell swoop. As you do kind of take a moment and everything is that kind of quiet sound You can't hear any other movements, which is nice because we don't want those things to come back. You can't hear the sounds of the outside world. As far as you yourself right now are kind of going through between the divine sense and going through what you have, as far as you're concerned, the whole world revolves around what is inside this cellar. You can't hear the outside, you can't hear wind, you can't hear the sound of your companions. As you feel your mind enter a planescape, and as it does, you can see yourself kind of standing in the middle of this kind of empty openness of this black, white, kind of starry night sky. As it does, you feel your body kind of being pulled and pushed, kind of like on an ebb and flow kind of feeling. And as you do, you seem to feel this presence. And as you do, you just hear, "Not enough." And as you hear the words "not enough," you come back to reality. The head is back on the zombie. Everybody is back where they were as you have just killed the last zombie, as time has reset backwards only a few moments.
But so I'm Groundhog Daying this. I know that happened, or I feel that happened.
You are aware that you are definitely in a position where you were not supposed to. You're like, I wasn't here before. I cut that thing's head off. It's still there. You've just skewered the body of this thing. Lando and Rose are still back there helping each other out. Val is still doing its thing, and you just
We're unaware.
No,
Yeah.
you are all as if like time's just gone backwards.
So wait,
So,
we remember that, or we don't know
so
that happened.
Coral knows that he's gone back in time a few minutes.
But we're
But as far as the
oblivious.
three of you are concerned, you're back where you were a few minutes ago.
Okay.
In your head, Coral, you hear, "Not enough. Not enough." And then a very dark kind of sense in your mind as you hear, "Burn it.
Mhm.
Burn it all."
And about that time, Lando's saying, like I was saying, I don't really want to torture this dude. So I don't think we should like try to keep like trying to kill him if we don't know for sure it's going to kill him.
I mean,
You
I
said
could
that
try.
already.
Normally, I can make some fire. But I'm kind of tired. Maybe the old-fashioned way. I can.
You guys have both said that already. But, oh god.
No, Coral, are you okay?
What?
You look a little. You look a little pale.
This all just happened.
This.
What are you talking about?
You see
Like-
this figure next to the creature that is standing there. And this one is a little bit more divine, as you, I'm assuming, recast Divine Sense.
Yep.
Or actually, you don't
Yep.
cast it. You're not sure
No?
what is going on. As you
Well-
can see, two lights start to appear.
Mhm.
You see the light encroaching the zombie, as it is appearing as an undead. But you're also starting to see the figure of a person standing beside it, kind of watching it. A little bit of light energy, kind of a nicer, kind of more softer tone. As this figure looks at you, and you can see its face is hollow. You can see that the head itself is just your regular head, but it's kind of like a dark sense is going through it. You can't see what it looks like. As you just hear in your head, "Burn it all. Enough." As it starts to growl louder.
Okay.
Coral, are you
that thing
okay?
gives a little bit of celestial energy, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really confused. I say that out loud.
Good.
What are you confused about?
I cut his head off to put him out of his misery, and then we went.
No, I mean that one, yes,
Didn't
but
it?
we
Now
haven't.
there's another one.
We haven't decided what to do with this one yet. I mean, Lando has some
Well,
very
that's
good
what I was
points.
saying. We don't really
Yeah.
know what's going to kill him or not, and I don't really want to torture this dude. We don't really
we
know what to do.
fire.
That's what
We
I'm
need
trying to
fire.
say.
Well, I can start trying to work on a fire, but it'll take some time to get a fire big and hot enough to burn a body.
Perhaps we could find some oil or something upstairs to spread around. I believe maybe this whole building might need to come down because of all the other pieces might come
Yeah.
back. We don't want that to happen.
So now that we're not like fighting things, can we? I want to examine the ground. What's this made of? All this going down here.
So I will get you and anybody else that would like to look at the ground to roll me an investigation check.
Well, okay.
The DC is quite low.
17.
Not quite a too low, but it is low.
Is it a 5 low?
It is a 5 low. Meets it, beats it. So as the three of you are kind of looking around now, you're noticing that the ground is a combination of just dirt and body parts and bones. With a 5 and a 14, Lando and Bros, you can notice that there is a ton of bones. You can see that there are bones everywhere. There's flesh, there's mud. It's all kind of conglomerated into this kind of disgusting mass. Val, with a 17, you're able to notice that all of the bones look exactly the same. And with logic, after seeing the hand pop off, you're able to see that all of these bones are in the arm. So they're all the same bone. You're also able to see that all of the dried blood, the mud, and the mush and everything that's around it is all from the same hand. As you can see, the body parts, the lines kind of where the hand pops off, and you can see that it's kind of looking like it's moved its way around, or that something's picked it up and moved it. And especially over where the three corpses are, there are just piles of these hand and arm wrist bones just kind of standing around it, and the same flesh that looks like the same body part, the same from the same person. You are able to quite easily figure out that something has kept this thing alive for 30 to 40 years and has fed the three zombies off of just this one man that whole time.
Oh, that poor guy. Oh. Yeah, I do believe
Gross.
that this may have been he may have been bait for these zombies. So yes, we may need to
What the hell is going on
We
here?
need fire. We need to burn this place to the
Yeah.
ground.
yeah, I think I'm probably, at least Val is probably gonna go upstairs and try to see if she can't find like the firewood, lamp oil, alcohol, anything like that. To like pour down into this hole and just set the whole house on fire, because there's nothing in it. We've already investigated all the houses. There's nothing in them. So at this point, just burn this whole building down.
Yeah.
If we can build something,
So
I can light it. As long as it's something small, we can use that as the spark. If we can build like a small campfire, and then
Oh god, what do you want to do later?
so two things. Two things now.
Cocktail.
One, I don't think we should let Rose light this fire. I think we should leave Rose out of this fire lighting. She seemed really excited about it. It's a different concern. So, Coral, you were talking about when you tried to kill this man, when you cut him in half, what happened now? Describe this to us again, please.
Yeah, I said I would. You need to burn it, and then it's like I don't know if I hallucinated doing it or what, but it's like I did it. It was very real to me. That we had this conversation. We decided to put him out of his misery. I cut its head off, and then everything just fuzzed out and reversed itself back to where we were.
Like deja vu.
So let's say we burn this house down. Let's say we burn this house down, and then we all just get sent back again. What happens?
Well, he said that we need to burn. There was some sort of a celestial presence there as well. So I think this is the correct course of action.
As this thing's being louder while we're talking, Rose is going to pull out her dagger and turn around and stab it in the side of the head.
So I'm going to set this fire.
Okay. Yeah, upstairs we got carpeting. We got tinder. We got.
Did that do anything, or did it still keep making noise after that?
It's still making sounds.
Yeah, we need fire. I'll pull it out.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. What happens if we do get sent back in time? We're sent back in time at least the rest of us will understand it then. Let's try it. Let's burn this place down.
All right. Get as
As
much
you
accelerant
will-
and light it up.
As you
Yeah.
will climb out of the cellar, and whether you leave the door open or close it, it does not matter. You could all kind of just hear the as you can hear something moving around where you just were. And Coral, you can hear the sound of just kill, end it. More. How quickly
Telltale
do you
buddy.
guys
Soon.
find something to light it up with? Rose, you said that you can light things.
Yeah, so with Druidcraft, I can instantly light a candle, torch, or small campfire. So if we could build something like a little campfire, I could use that as the spark.
I've got
and then we can.
torches.
There we go.
So you've got torches, you've got some fire. I'd say we wouldn't have to roll anything. We can pretty easily just light this motherfucker up.
Mhm.
While you do,
I'll play us a fun song while we do.
detect magic. So as you
This was
do,
not magic. It's just for fun.
how do you do this? Are you lighting the torch and throwing it in? Are you throwing stuff down there and then lighting it all up in one?
Yeah, so we're collecting as much accelerant and tinder and rug, whatever's burnable that we can
love
get.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just put as much accelerant on there, and light it
Definitely
with torch.
concentrating around the pillars so it'll all come down and keep
Mhm.
burning.
Yep.
Alrighty, so
And as soon as it catches, just get out.
it's pretty simple and easy. The pillars
Yeah.
themselves, whilst like wooded and kind of like broken off a little bit, it's still able to give you guys enough time to kind of get out of the building. You all can kind of hear just the and then very clearly all you hear is so bright as the sound starts to die. And then in your mind, Carl, you can hear the finally, and then just a sound of screaming in your head before this building starts to burn down. What are you guys doing?
I do
Well, we
find the
all
flames
need a
quite
shower and a
beautiful.
nap. So
And a milk bottle and my favorite toy.
absolutely.
I'm playing a jaunty tune while we watch this place burn down.
They're all experiencing like horror and horrible, and you're like, "Hey!"
If I'm still hearing all this shit in my head,
That's
this is
not
freaking
jaunty.
me out. But like I'm
I love
doing it,
arson.
like praying through it and doing what.
After a few seconds, the screaming does cut off,
Okay.
and you can start to hear the outside world again.
Coral. What? What is going on? Are you okay?
It was in my head. Well, from the first time I killed it, it was in my head.
Okay, back up.
Um,
You've been talking. You've been saying a lot, but it's been a little confusing. What's in your head? What's happening?
Nothing anymore. It's at peace finally. I think we're good.
But what is?
Perhaps there was some magical qualities. I believe that was being kept alive by magic, so perhaps there was some magic attached to its communication with Coral, since it had the most contact with him.
Who would
Speaking
do
of
something
magic,
like this though? Like, what kind of person does this?
do you remember the Blood Queen?
This is why magic is forbidden.
This is exactly the kind of stuff that the Blood Queen did.
Mm-hmm.
She did this stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing stories
But
about this
also,
Blood Queen, but I told you I don't really know. I don't really know much about her.
neither do I. I'm just making stuff up.
Can anybody actually tell me something about her? Is this something that she would do?
Yeah, I do know a couple things about this. My family had some history with her, but yeah, this is the kind of stuff she'd do, and this is kind of why the world went to shit, and why we have a giant chasm in the middle of it.
But okay, but who was she? Why did she do this? Like,
she was a queen. She ruled. Before the world was split in two, she was in charge. She was basically the god queen of pretty much everywhere.
I just don't understand what could drive a person to do something like this.
And not with enough magic, it can corrupt you. So watch
Did anyone
carefully
know
if that's
who she was? Like,
well,
where
no,
she came from?
She died.
Well, I mean,
died like a century ago.
who was she, though? I mean,
the only name people know of the Blood Queen is the Blood Queen. No one knew her name.
Yeah, you're asking questions I don't have an answer for.
That's fair.
Perhaps we
right.
can
The
find
only
more
reason
at do.
Unsettling.
the only reason I brought her up was just because of the blood magic. Like, that's the only time I've ever even heard of it. I've never seen it before in my entire life.
Does she still have followers, even after all this time?
I mean, I'm sure probably.
There's always weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People who want to be like her, recreate her empire, become the next Blood Queen or King or whoever.
Here's the thing that confuses me just a little bit, though. It looked like that man had been down there a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And this town looks like, well, shit. But no one seemed to mention anything. I mean, the only thing we heard about this town was it's on the way to where we're going. That makes me think that something happened to this town recently, but it doesn't look that way.
Yes, it is not. It doesn't seem to be adding up. You're correct.
Well, if the weird thing that happened to me was really some sort of weird time magic, I mean, that could explain some of it, maybe.
As we're all having this conversation, whereabouts in the town are you? Are you like obviously outside of the building? Because I've moved us all over to the town screen on Roll20. So can you put yourselves where you believe you would be standing, please?
Probably near enough to the well where if we need to jump in and
honestly, I think we should have this conversation as we're walking out of town because I don't like this town.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask. So here, this is like a little, I don't know. It kind of looks like some place where they were doing some sales or whatever. Is there anything here at all that looks like it was for sale at the time that I could probably just take?
The only thing that you could be able to pick up and take that doesn't immediately fall apart is a small silver dagger. The leather band itself around the object is basically worn through. You would need a professional blacksmith to kind of put this thing back into usable shape. But the blade itself looks like it's been cleaned quite regularly.
Okay, so silver dagger.
Silver dagger, blade's good, leather's fucked.
Yep. Needs love.
Need a little bit of TLC.
Or we leave town. Oh, sorry. Are you done, Lando?
No, go ahead.
You're good. Okay. Before we leave town, I do want to go up to this tree, and I just want to push my hand on it. And can I do a nature check? I just want to see, like, if I can get a feeling for,
more
because
than welcome.
it looks like the tree's dead. I just want to see if I can tell how long it's been dead or what the state of it is. No magic, just a nature check. Yeah, 16.
Excuse me. 16 will do it. So as you kind of put your hand to the tree, you can feel this kind of magical, druidic energy kind of pulsing through it. You can see and feel that the tree is still alive, even though it looks like it's been dead for a long time. The tree itself, still implanted in the ground, still kind of keeping an eye on things. You can see that it is alive. While you're holding onto it, how long are you holding onto this thing?
I mean, I would probably just place my hand on it and then maybe look at it, study it, close my eyes just a little bit. So probably for a little while.
Cool.
Not like an hour
So
or
the
anything, but
longer
a couple minutes.
you're holding onto it, you can feel your mind not muddling, but like it's kind of swirling. You can start to see an image in your head. And as you're seeing this image, you can see kind of a group of what look like druidic women dancing around this tree. As you can hear the sounds, you can hear drums, you can hear beats. And as you're kind of listening in, you see like one of these women kind of looking around and enjoying themselves. They're having a good time. You could see that this was clearly used for something good. After a few more seconds, you feel kind of like an acrid, sharp smell hit your nose, and it takes you out a little bit as one of the women turns and looks directly at you and just smiles a little bit. And as she kind of like looks over, she just, "We've been spotted. Someone has seen." I was not told of this for another 30 years to happen. And as you kind of do with your hand on there, you feel something quite sharp in your hand. Kind of just like, not exactly a sharp pain like you've been stabbed, but kind of like, when you just jar your hand the wrong way and it just kind of like that sharp pain feeling. It's basically like that. And as you kind of hold your hand to it, you can hear the woman say, "It worked. So, how are the corpses 30 years into the future? Are they still there?
Can you see me?
Or is it done?" Any more?
So can I look around? Do I feel physically here? Like, can I
You
tell if they can actually?
you can feel the heat from the fires and you can hear the sounds. It sounds like the sounds in there, but you know that you're not there. Like,
Okay.
you're mentally aware of the fact that you're still standing in Biruul. You're still standing with your hand on the tree, but you can hear it. It sounds like it's real. You can feel the heat. You can feel that sharp pain in your hand. And as the lady starts to step a little closer, and it's almost like she kind of slows down a little bit, and she's like, "Not you.
Can you?
You're not her.
Who?
Been hiding for a long time."
I've not been hiding. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Who
we're
are
all
you?
hiding. And you can see that she kind of looks around, and the rest of the people are acting as if they are just constantly going. As if she hasn't moved, she's still dancing. You can see that everything else is kind of doing its own thing. And you can hear she steps right up to your face. Like, you can basically see her right here. And then she kind of looks at you. She lifts up her hand and she says, "Illusions cause such sweet sorrow." And you can hear and feel as she puts one finger to your forehead, and everybody immediately can see the entire town change from what was buildings, what was the tree, the well, as everything turns to ruins in an instant. As the dark sky hits, it is no longer light. As the sky turns dark, and you can see that all of the houses are now ruined, burnt to the ground from what looks like years ago. All you can hear is a sound of just, "No more." And everybody can hear this now. It's not just Coral. Just, "All done.
Did we burn them all down?
No more."
Was that us?
Is the lady still there? Can I still see her?
No, you have now come
Oh,
back kind of like a snap and like a switch. You've come back. The tree isn't there anymore. As you can see the ruins, you can see the fields and the farms are like before over where the north and south is. You can see that it is just leveled ground. The buildings have been turned to rubble. The dark sky is kind of hit, and it feels like you've kind of just been transported somewhere. It's still the same
Lando.
town. Go.
Oh, sorry.
No. What do you want to do?
Lando kind of like immediately runs because he wants to see, is the dude dead? The dude that we tried to kill originally, the dude in the basement that we had talked to earlier, is he actually still dead or is he alive still?
Which dude?
The one
The one that
Arm
kept
candy.
regenerating itself.
Yes.
Hey, that's
yes, that guy.
That's
Yes.
pretty good.
Sorry, which one? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, so the guy that we were talking to earlier, the one that he had, the one that Coral had like sliced his head off and had like gone back in time. I want to verify that he's dead.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's
What?
messing with you.
There wasn't any selling. There wasn't any people. You entered into a ravaged, ruined, burnt down town.
Do we remember
Biruul,
anything
as
before
you
that?
have been standing in the middle, you know that Biruul hasn't been a town of worth or with anything for the past 30 years.
Do we remember anything from before?
You remember everything. But
I get it.
there.
Okay.
I believe this was illusion.
I am done with this town. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
I
well
agree.
then, yeah, fuck this place. Now that we understand this, yeah, let's get out of here. This place sucks.
This place sucks.
As you were all kind of moving forward, you know that you need to head north. So you start to take that northeastern road out onto the pass as you start making your way to Ura. And as you're all kind of going and walking off, Coral, you can hear the sounds of just a light, thank you, finally, as you start to head off. And Rose, you can hear a light cackling in your head. You can hear the sound of someone kind of laughing in the background and just... It's all fun and games, isn't it?
Right.
Everybody enjoys games, don't you?
I won't say anything out loud, but I'll think back because I saw Coral talking to himself earlier, and I don't want to seem crazy to the rest of the people.
And as you walk off, you hear one last sentence of just, I thought Hermona liked games. And that's where we're going to end this session.
All right.
I have questions for the voices in my head.
Yeah.
Are we level 3 now?
Last thing. Once we're
no.
sufficiently out of town, I think we all need one.
Yeah.
Sorry, what'd you say?
We'll
long rest.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I don't know if it's been like 3 hours since we left or 3 years. Like I don't know how long. Yeah, like we've been gone. But I'm tired.
Time doesn't mean anything.
I'm tired. I like how I like the DM being affected by the spell. That was pretty good.
That was cute. I liked it.
That was adorable.
And I also like watching Lando not just trying to process.
I looked at everybody else's face, and I could see that the three of you picked up on it. And Lando's like, "What do you mean?"
Well, I was like, "Well, I hate that. Let's get out of here."
I saw your face, Lando, and it was just like, you're so dumb. Like the thing we just did for the past 30 minutes.
Well, I hate you. We're leaving now.
Sorry. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for session 3 of Temptations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot darker than I may have given off the impression of, and
I like it.
I rather
Yeah.
enjoyed
I'll give
that.
you that battle
Yeah, that was
was
fun.
really fucking hard. Like you
Yeah.
almost had us. That was good. That was a really great battle. Like you had us challenged, but also didn't like murder us completely. That was awesome. You did a good job.
Nah.
Yeah.
It only helped that he was attacking Coral and not anybody else. Coral's AC is
Well,
just too
whatever.
high.
Like
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I
no,
do
whatever.
like
We're like level 2. That's what you do. You
yeah.
don't
You
want to be
send the
like a
tank
shit
in.
DM and like try to murder the casters.
of course not. I mean,
yeah,
we
I
murdered
like
the casters about 30 years ago, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like D&D zombies. They've got like a nice
They're
little
so
trick
much
that just
fun.
makes them really hard to kill, and they're very
I love
frustrating.
it.
It's pretty
It's so
good.
good.
Yeah.
Is that
it's
the
pretty
thing
good.
where they come back
It's
once
like
they
a
get
combo
the
save like that.
they get the when they get their like kill damage, they come back with 1
Yeah.
point of damage, right?
Yeah, so
just
they can come back with 1 point of damage. It's an AC, it's a con save of 5 plus the damage. If you roll
Right.
within that 5 plus, so say for example you do 10 damage to it, they have to roll above 15 to come back to life.
Right.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
they are dead. The only thing that kills it is a critical hit or radiant damage, which is why the zombie didn't do anything when Coral used the radiant smite.
Smite, yeah.
That thing
My
was
first
dead.
I had
ever
that
fought
thought, but
as
I didn't know that
DM.
Rose would know that, so I didn't say anything.
My throat is fucked,
Coral
by the
didn't
way.
put 2 and 2 together there.
What were you
So-
saying? Your first fight, Lando?
Oh,
You said
I was
your
just
first
saying
fight-
my first ever fight as DM was with zombies. It was in that what is that thing they have in the starter set now? They don't do Lost
oh.
Mine of Fandelver anymore.
Not
It's a
Fandelver
new
anymore?
thing.
Yeah.
It's
the Dragon
the
Isle or something.
Dragon of Stormwrack Isle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
it's actually pretty good. It's
heard.
not as good as Fandelver though.
Yeah, Fandelver was pretty clutch.
Alrighty. We shall take our goodbyes. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for session 3. I hope you all enjoyed. Ellen, I can't wait for you to go absolutely fucking mental at the end there.
Oh yeah, I always look forward to Kellen's comments. Let me make a couple quick announcements when you're done. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. I usually always say them wrong.
Yeah, I can cover them. So yeah, thank you again. This is fortnightly. If you want to tune in next Thursday, though, most of us are back. So it's me, Val, and Psychic. We've got Dragonbane offset every 2 weeks from this. And then Monday we'll return to Kupo Quest. We took a week off because I kind of forgot about Memorial Day. And then I think next week, speaking of zombies, we're back on Omega's channel for The Walking Dead. And we're getting pretty close to the season finale of that, so definitely the time to check it out. I still hold the record for the longest lived character, so I'm going to see if I can make it to the end of the season. So it's getting I do have some kind of virus though, so it's getting touch and go. But yeah, this summer I'm gonna probably try to start up some new stuff. I know my Final Fantasy 14 tabletop game is in the mail, so look out for that. We'll do something on the channel with that soon because I can't wait for that one. And yeah, and so next thing will be Monday. Monday's the next thing. Hoopo Quest, which everyone should be watching because it's amazing, and it's Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Other than that, though, that's all I got. So.
Oh, well, after listening to our usual announcements, thank you again, everybody, and we shall see you Monday night for Cooper Quest. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.